There never seems to be a dull week in the market or economy at the moment. This week alone, the Bank of England have warned of a contracting UK economy. The US Consumer Price Index has shown that inflation has actually slowed down over the last month, and the degenerate crypto industry has struck again, with the saga going on with FTX and Binance. More importantly though, is the impact this is going to have on millions of people's individual wealth for anyone who's held crypto on that platform. While I'm sure that you've seen and heard this elsewhere, if you do currently hold any crypto on FTX and you can still remove it from the platform, please go ahead and do that straight away. I don't want to see anybody get stung by this, but I do fear that the potential house of cards of crypto could come falling down, so please be careful out there. Anyway, somehow within all this madness, the market has seen a bit of a rally. Now it could be something known as a bear market rally, where there are little gains periodically throughout a bear market run, or potentially it could be the stock market starting its new or next bull market run. Who knows? Definitely not me, but I have managed to invest a few £100s worth of capital over the last few weeks, and my portfolio value has actually increased by over £1,000 since I last updated you about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. So let's hop into my Vanguard platform, hop into my Vanguard ISA and see exactly where my Vanguard ISA is currently sat. In my last update, which was actually 4 weeks ago now, my portfolio was valued at £11,862. I'd invested £1,225 so far within this tax year, and my rate of return across the entire portfolio was about 16%. If we hop into my portfolio, you'll be able to see it's the first time ever that it's reached £13,000, and it's currently sat on £13,014.23. My personal rate of return is up around 13%, with it currently sat on 29.56%. So that really demonstrates the growth that the stock market has seen over those last 4 weeks. And bearing in mind, within that period of time, Amazon's crashed, Apple's crashed, Alphabet's crashed, Tesla's pulled back, and there's been a lot going on in the market. The last few days, of course, we have seen some of those companies bounce back, with the general bounce back between 5 and 10% of growth. So that is doing something for my portfolio, but it does show a potential corner being turned in terms of the stock market. If we look at the ISA allowance, you'll be able to identify that I've now actually invested £1,695 so far this tax year, which means that I've invested around £400, £450 since we last did an update. My largest investment is still in the S&P 500, of which I hold around £6,300 of my wealth in there, which equates to 48.5% of my total ISA value. I've also currently got £6.69 in available cash, and that's because in the month of November, Vanguard's quarterly fees get charged. So I'm expecting my fees to be around £5. So I'm making sure I've got enough sat there so I don't have to sell out of any of my positions. The performance tab breaks this all down a little further. Since opening this account back in May of 2019, I've invested £11,440, and that's returning to me £1,574.23. That's given me, of course, my total value of the portfolio and therefore the rate of return. You can see this broken down further on the graph down here. The COVID pullback looks fairly non-existent now, all things considered, and you can see since sort of November last year, so in essence a full 12 months now, despite continually investing every single month into portfolio between £200 and £400 on a monthly basis, it did trade fairly sideways, and you can see the large pullbacks that there have been throughout that period of time. And it was until kind of July of this year that my portfolio actually started to breach that £11,000 mark. And since then, it did grow a little bit before trading sideways. And then over this last month, it has definitely grown in a more meaningful way, with it being over £13,000 now for the first time. So it was a really nice little milestone for me. The calculations tab doesn't really change much month to month, but we'll still have a look at it anyway. And you can see the total amount of value or gain that I've got currently within my investments that are currently on the market is around £843. And I've crystallised £341 of gain from the sale of my Life Strategy 100. My gross interest is getting ever closer to that magical pound at 84p, and my total dividend income is now £417.31. The charges are yet unchanged at £28.97, but as I said, I'm expecting to pay fees of around £4.50 to £5.50 at some point in this month, so I'll report back to you next month exactly how much they were. And that obviously equates to the total growth of £1,574. If you hop across to the month by month data, as we do every single video, you'll be able to see that so far in the month of November, I'm actually up £387 in market gain or loss. With the addition of 13 pence in interest income, that gives me a personal total rate of return, cumulative rate of return, of £388.11 so far in November. But it is, of course, only the 12th today, so still plenty of time for things to go wrong. If we go down 1 month, you'll be able to see last month, in the month of October, I ended up just under £200 for the month, which kind of went a long way, or half of the way, or a third of the way even, to repairing the damage that September did to my portfolio, which is still to date my worst monthly swing ever. You'll also notice that I've actually managed to invest £270 so far in the month of November, and I haven't actually put in my normal monthly deposit yet. That's from additional income that I've made from things like affiliate marketing that I wasn't otherwise expecting. So I've put that straight into the market whilst it was at that low point, to try to maximize the growth that it can see. So something we'll do quickly, and I've not actually done this before in a portfolio update, is we'll pull right down to the very, very bottom, and we'll see exactly how my portfolio's grown over time, showing you exactly the numbers. I won't talk through it, but you can kind of have a look through it as well. The 4 interesting tabs really for you will be this left-hand side one, which is where the portfolio started at the beginning of the month. This second one in, which is how much I invested within that month. This one over here, one in from the left, which is how much my portfolio either grew or lost within that period of that month. And then this one far on the right-hand side, which is the end value of that portfolio within that month. So we'll scroll up, and you can see that obviously the portfolio grew fairly small in numerical values, but as a percentage of the overall size, it's probably similar to what we're seeing now. So you can see it's growing fairly slowly. I won't talk too much about these, but you would see January, February, March, April was the COVID crash. I actually only lost £238 within the COVID crash, but of course, as a percentage of the starting value of portfolio, that was a fairly substantial pullback, and I was sat on negative 27% rate of return at that point, so fairly scary, having only been investing for about 10 months. Be able to see the growth out the other side. You can also notice the amount that I managed to invest throughout that period of time over here, and the return that I saw on a month-by-month basis. So then we'll keep pulling up, and you'll be able to see the overall amount that the portfolio's returned to me is now obviously accumulating over here. And we're now back to kind of around a year or so ago. So if we look to a year or so ago, my portfolio was valued around £10,276. It's really not grown that much over the last year, but of course we know only too well why that is. And you can see now, getting back to where we are in November of 2022, with an ending value of £13,014. From the investments tab, you can see exactly what I'm currently holding in my portfolio, which is of course my 6 different funds. My investment in the FTSE emerging market is currently down £1,727, with an unrealised loss of £92 and a dividend income of £76, which all equates to a total gain or loss of £15.94, with me being down just under negative 2%. We've then got the Asia Pacific ex Japan over here. I'm currently up £106.45, or 27.27%. We've got the developed Europe ex UK, which of course has had a bit of a bumpy ride with the Ukraine-Russia conflict recently, but that has now bounced back, and I'm now netting a positive rate of return, thanks largely due to the dividend income that it's received. So you can see I'm around 63 pence up in terms of capital growth, and the dividend of £36.36 sees me being up a total of £36.99, or just under 5% in return. The FTSE Japan ETF, again, not doing too fantastically. I am down £13.97, or 2.36%. The FTSE 100, again, this is the largest dividend pair for me thus far, netting me a dividend of £135.18 cumulatively, with a total return of £282.56, seeing me net a rate of return of £32.73. And the real jewel, of course, in this portfolio is the S&P 500. I'm targeting around 50% weighting towards this fund. My investment in it has got a capital return of £757, a dividend return of £103, meaning that I'm up a total of £870.14, or 47.74%. Really quite nice. One of the final things we'll do then is look at my overall holdings here on the holdings screen, turned on detailed view, and you can see that in the FTSE emerging market, my current weighting is 13.28%. I'm targeting 15% here, so again getting ever closer to that target, and I hold 39 units of the fund. The FTSE 100, I'm targeting 10% of my overall portfolio. It's currently weighted at just under 14%, so still work to be done there, but I hold 56 units of the fund. The developed Asia Pacific ex Japan, targeting 5%, on a tad over 5%, so about bang on there, and I hold 33 units of that fund. The developed Europe ex UK ETF, targeting 12%, currently just under 12%, and we're almost at the optimum figures now. Moving on to the FTSE Japan, targeting 8%, at just over 7%, so again a little bit of work to be done there, holding 39 units of this fund. And the S&P 500, targeting 50%, got 48.5%. But most importantly, I currently hold 99 units of this fund. So if you remember back a month or so ago, I said I was targeting reaching 100 units in this fund by the end of the year. That's something that I am definitely going to do now. And remember, this hasn't just happened overnight. This has been a 3.5-year project so far, investing fairly small amounts every single month, hopefully showing that anybody can do this. The final thing we'll do is hop into the Insights tab, which of course breaks down my geographical region sector allocation, which we've kind of spoken about already, so I won't go through that again. Be able to see my current top 10 holdings are in Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Shell, Tesla, AstraZeneca, Berkshire Hathaway, Unilever and United Health Group. Most of these I also hold in my Trading 2 and 2 portfolio. Maybe I'll have to reconsider my diversification there a little bit, but the reason I hold on to them is because I strongly believe in those companies. The sector allocation is obviously down here as shows, and my performance over the last 3 months, albeit turned around recently, I'm still down £170 for the last 3 months, with a rate of return over that period of time of negative 1.36%. So still work to be done, still growth to be regained, but looking a lot better now. And the worst is by no means behind us. The Bank of England are still warning of potentially the longest recession ever to date. The pound could still fall further against the dollar, which of course will impact all of our investments as well. And there's the little matter of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, which we're not really sure what's going on there. Oh, and of course, adding in the cryptocurrency market, which is anybody's guess what's going to happen next or who could potentially be implicated. If that all sounds like a little bit too much to comprehend, why don't you start investing just as little as £100 a month and start to grow your wealth as I have? So check out this video next, which will show you exactly how to do that. And if you're sat there thinking, do you know what? I've not got any money to invest. Check out this video next on matched betting, and that will show you how you can make between £400 and £600 every single month completely tax-free. There you go.